What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Make an Impact podcast with real stories, real people, and real impact. My name's Stephen Turnbull. I'm an entrepreneur, father, and husband on a mission to empower individuals to share their stories to make an impact on you. You may be watching this as a 5 with T5 viewer from back in the day. We have taken a pause and we have rebranded to the Make an Impact podcast. The episode that you're going to listen to today was recorded prior to this change. We had some very exciting things in my life. We welcomed our new baby girl, Margot Turnbull, to the world, and we took a pause, and we have this great, beautiful podcast studio that we're now going to be doing in-person interviews, which is going to be more intentional around people making an impact in their life, their business, and listening to their stories. So the first couple episodes throughout this journey will be pre-recorded with the 5OT5, but it's all going to be the same great conversations, and I hope you enjoy. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Make an Impact podcast with real stories, real people, and real impact. My name's Stephen Turnbull. I'm an entrepreneur, a father, and a husband on a mission to empower individuals to share their stories so they can make an impact on you. You may be a returning listener from the 5 with T5 podcast, or maybe this is your first time listening to our show. This is episode 1 of the Make an Impact podcast. We've taken some time off, had some exciting times in my family's life. We welcomed our new baby girl, Margot, to the world about 2 months ago, and always had the idea of rebranding to more of a specific community focus with a specific message. And it was a good opportunity to take some time off. More importantly, we're in a new studio. We are in 600 French Road in New Hartford, New York. We have some great partners, Matt Wilson, Bill Madison, Michael Taft, here at the pod at the network. It is a fantastic studio that we have been working very hard to have in-person conversations. So the change from the Make an Impact pod, or from 5 with T5 rather, to the Make an Impact podcast made sense to rebrand that. Now we're having these in-person intentional conversations. I've done a few of these in-person conversations through podcasting as we've tested out, done a few with the BNI group, done a few as we just tested out in general. One of them was on the 5 with T5 with Bill Madison, and there's just such a difference of sitting down, being in person and having a conversation, being able to look the guest in the eye and ask, what keeps you up at night? What's your why? There's a lot more passion. There's a lot more emotion behind the conversation when we're in person doing that. So I'm super excited for the change, and that was kind of the reasoning for the change as we pivoted from the 5 with T5 podcast, from that virtual, remote, although there were fantastic conversations, there's nothing like sitting down in person, having the guests come and share their story. What's staying the same is the amazing stories that we have. I think storytelling is incredible. I love podcasting. I have an insurance podcast where we work with specifically insurance topics about building a scratch insurance agency. My business is T5 Insurance. I started T5 Insurance 3 years ago. And so relationships and community engagement has been everything for my young professional development in my career and with my new business. And so I love the ability to bring somebody in that I want to get to know better, to bring on to the listeners that the community can get to know better, learn about a community event that's going on. And that's why we do this at the Make an Impact podcast, now in the podcast studio here at the network. So I think that storytelling is fantastic because everybody has a story. And I think it's really powerful for everybody's story to be heard. Every episode is going to be different because it's a different guest that's coming in. We're learning about their why. Why did they start that business? Why did they leave their career to start the business? Why are they loving their career that they're in? Why do they do so much for their family? Whatever it is, we're going to bring business owners in, individuals in, community leaders, nonprofits. There's going to be no barrier of what we're bringing in, but it's all going to have that same premise of how are you making an impact in your life? How are you making an impact in others' life that are surrounded you so that we can learn from them and we can all get better and let the community rise up together. There's so much going on right now in the central New York area, and I think it's so powerful to have these conversations, and the fact that we can have them in person is going to be amazing. So what's new? It's a different name. It's a different brand, the Make an Impact podcast. For me, why make an impact? About a year and a half ago, I just randomly stumbled one night on, in this brain, which sometimes is dangerous, of my life mission is to make an impact. I want that to be what my legacy is. I want somebody 100 years from now to think, about Stephen Turnbull, I want them to think about making an impact, whether that's in the clients that we have the privilege to serve each and every day at T5 Insurance, my family, the business owners that I work with on a daily basis, or just general the community and my family and friends. I want that to be what my legacy is. So I want to share that through this podcast and through storytelling. When I stumbled across that life mission of mine to make an impact, I loved it so much because it's so broad. It doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur and you have your own business. It doesn't matter if you're a career worker. It doesn't matter if you're a stay-at-home mom. It doesn't matter what you do. You have the ability each and every day to make an impact in someone's life, and more importantly, sometimes your own. So you have the ability to make an impact by holding the door for somebody. You have the ability to make an impact by helping a client out with whatever your professional job is. And that's why I love the broadness of this, but at the same point, it applies to everybody. And so that's why we're so excited to bring this back to you. We're so excited to get back on the train of recording great conversations. We're going to try to keep these conversations 30 to 40 minutes max, just so that we can get the guest in, respect their time, but so to respect your time as the listener, so that you can get right into the meat and potatoes of learning about that person, learning about that community leader, and learning about the impact that they're making. The objective is very clear. There's one objective, is hopefully it makes an impact in your life as the viewer. That's the objective. And hopefully there's something that when we interview Mrs. Smith, that's something that she says that just resonates with you, that you always remember, maybe helps you pivot in your life, helps you take that career jump, helps you apply something to your family. And the ability in now today's age with social media, YouTube, all the platforms that we have, if I can serve as a small piece of that, to be a host of this show and provide a platform for you to listen to amazing conversations, that is all I'm worried about, and that's the point of this show. So do us a favor, go on our YouTube channel, Make an Impact Pod, Make an Impact Pod on Instagram. There's not going to be a ton of content out there yet because we're just getting started with this rebrand, but I really hope that you'll follow along and learn about all the great people that we have and learn about their stories and just be a part of the journey and the community that we're trying to build here at the Make an Impact Podcast. Before I wrap up, I just want to say, if you're watching this, and especially if you got to this point, I really appreciate you. I appreciate you following along the journey. I appreciate your support, whether you're a customer, whether you're a friend, whether you're a Facebook friend that we've never met, whatever it is. I appreciate you following along the journey and allowing me to try to fuel my mission here in life of making an impact. So my name's Stephen Turnbull with the Make an Impact Podcast. Until next time, go out there, lead with purpose, and make an impact in someone's life today, even if that's your own. We'll see you next week. Take care.